What is up, people? Welcome back to another tips and predictions video here at the Cup Chasers. It's match week 17 in the Premier League, and I couldn't be more excited. Last weekend was absolutely horrendous, not just because of my predictions, thank you Arsenal, but also for a number of other reasons. Our props strategy on the shots was not as effective as I would have hoped. However, we only missed on a number of parlays by a single player. Thanks, Mo Salah. So we're going to shy away from those this weekend. But that being said, the League Cup did treat me nicely yesterday, as well as some of the midweek action. Here I'm going to pop up the results for you. Take a look. I am up 6 units. Hopefully we can get more going. If you want to pause the video right here to take a look at what I have specifically parlayed together, that is just fine. And all right, match week 17. Let's dive right in. First up, Aston Villa hosting Manchester City. Manchester City's confidence is absolutely in the pits, but I had to check on this. Aston Villa, 1 win in 8 games, as they have been stumbling and stuttering a bit lately as well. However, they are unbeaten in 7 games this season at home. I'm not too certain how this one will play out. Villa do like to keep the ball, so perhaps City will not have as much possession as you might have expected. But then again, you know, Emery likes to change up tactics against different teams, so he may sit back and let City have the ball. And if that is how it goes, and combine that with Pep continuing just same old, then I think Villa will rip them to shreds on the break. But it could be more difficult if Pep decides to play a little bit deeper. So it's kind of back and forth, tough to call. I'm looking for Erling Haaland to have at least 1 shot on target, and John McGinn to have at least 1 shot in general. Of course, Ollie Watkins, John Duran, and Morgan Rogers will be able to put up some shots as well, so you can go either way on those. I'm leaning Villa double chance. The bookies say this is the most unlikely outcome, but it still makes me queasy. PTSD, man. So the safe bet in this game, I've got both teams to score. And my feeling froggy bet in this game, as I'm going to call it henceforth, is both teams to score. Erling Haaland to have 1 shot on target, and John McGinn to have 1 shot in general. Should be a fun game, however, on this one. Up next, Brentford hosting Nottingham Forest. This is probably the matchup of the weekend. Absolutely spicy. Well, of course, Spurs are playing Liverpool, but this game is absolutely going to be a spicy one. Brentford are flying at home. Forest flying in general up to 4th place. You can get positive odds to bet the money line either way at the time of this recording. So, what are you feeling? Brentford at home or Forest, to be able to hit them on the break? Chris Wood, Mbomo, Wissa are our production specialists. I think Wissa is going to be in the shots in general category, and Chris Wood and Mbomo should both have at least 1 shot on goal. So Brentford have been susceptible to counters this season, which is obviously what Forest will look to do. It's interesting to think about how at home Brentford are going to want to dominate the ball, dominate the territory, and try to put it on Forest. This will suit Nottingham Forest just fine, as they are comfortable without the ball. I definitely recommend you watch this one. It will be fun. There will be goals. Trust me on that one. The safe bet for this game is easy. Both teams to score. And my feeling froggy bet is going to be both teams to score. Chris Wood with 1 shot on target. Mbomo with 1 shot on target. Johan Wissa, 2+ shots on target will get you lovely odds. And if you want to do this one without the Wissa shots, it's not bad odds on that one as well. Definitely recommend you watch that one. It's going to be an absolute firecracker of a match. Moving on, Ipswich hosting Newcastle United, the Toon. Newcastle have won only 1 game away from home this season, but Ipswich themselves are winless at home. an interesting dynamic there. Ipswich players to look at for offensive production are, of course, Rory Delap, Smazarda. I'm going to butcher this name. Samardzic, something like that is definitely up there as far as shots and offensive production. And, of course, Amari Hutchinson has been having a good season as well. So we'll look to them for our same game parlays, our feeling froggy bet. It feels like a 2-1 Newcastle, maybe even 2-0. Ipswich tend to score, but they have failed to score at home 3 times this season and 2 more times away from home. So nearly a third of their games they've failed to score this season. I think both teams to score is getting neg 170 at the time of this recording, meaning that the bookies think it's likely Ipswich will get a goal. I might stay away from both teams to score as the Lap and the gang versus Byrne and his boys might struggle. I'm looking for Murphy, Gordon, and Isak to be the offensive producers on the Newcastle side. On this one, I'm going with my gut. Your safe bet is going to be Newcastle money line. And then if you're feeling froggy, I would say Newcastle money line and both teams to score. Of course, if you want to do the player props in this one, the aforementioned players are the guys to look at. All right, West Ham hosting Brighton. It looks like Danny Welbeck is going to be out, but Joel Veltman might come back in. So that's good news and bad news for the Seagulls. Both teams are kind of misfiring up front, not scoring as many as they should. West Ham are terrible, which has me leaning moneyline Brighton. But the Seagulls are leaking goals like it's their job. They gave 3 to Crystal Palace at home last time out, which shocked me. 4 or 5 wins have come at home for the Hammers, and Lopetegui's father has just passed away. They might get some sort of kind of spiritual boost, from wanting to win one for the gaffer. As far as that's concerned, not really something that, it might affect it. It may be what lifts them. Who knows? Because they definitely need a lift. Brighton also in need of a lift, have won just one of their last 5 games. It's the struggle bus United. I'm still leaning moneyline Brighton because West Ham are terrible, and they have been terrible recently, but also the display from Brighton last time out was horrendous. So picking the money line here could be tricky, but again, the safest bet is both teams to score, and you're feeling froggy is going to add Brighton to your both teams to score. All right, Crystal Palace in a rematch versus Arsenal. Based on the cup game, Arsenal should be winning this one as well. We started with a lot of changes, but then the regular team came off the bench, and we put Palace under a whole bunch of pressure. They got their first goal because Kivior didn't attack the ball in the air, which is something Big Gab and Willie Saliba do not fail to do. So I think the Route 1 stuff that was effective against us in the beginning of the Carabao Cup game will not be as effective against us this time. I'm wondering what kind of performance we're going to get from Arsenal, though. Is the urgency going to be there? Is the handbrake going to be on? I know we'll look to stifle them, not let them get a lot of chances on the break. We're going to look to win a lot of second balls. If they are trying that long ball stuff, we're going to be looking to win a lot of second balls, dominate possession, dominate territory. So I'm not expecting a whole bunch of goals here. I am expecting them to sit back and look to counter. It's probably going to be the exact same lineup with Mateta trying to bully, but I expect our 2 center backs to handle him. It's feeling like a 1-0 or a 2-0 Arsenal victory. I think if we score early and Palace come out, it could be feisty, and there could be a bit more in this one. I've got mixed feelings on this one, maybe just because, I'm desperate for Arsenal to continue their winning ways, continue their winning run, and get another win. It is worth noting that Palace are unbeaten in 5 Premier League games, but also Arsenal have not lost a London derby this calendar year. If Partey is at right back, it's going to really hinder Arsenal from creating much down the right side, and I'm worried about that actually being the case. As the way our injuries are and the way Arteta's been handling it. But I think that they're going to have enough. The safe bet in this game is the Arsenal money line. And your feeling froggy bet is going to be the Arsenal money line under 3.5, I think. And then you could also put shots on target for Saka and Eze, maybe even Mateta if you're trying to go for some bigger odds in this one. All right. Up next, Everton hosting Chelsea. It's 3-0 in the last 5 matches for Everton, but Chelsea have scored the most goals in the league, scoring for fun, it seems. The B team at the time of this recording have put 5 past the Shamrocks, so they're still on that run. The wingers are probably going to rack up some shots and GA in this one. So I'm looking at Palmer. I'm looking at Madueke. I'm looking at Nicholas Jackson to get your shots on target if we're trying to make a single game parlay. The question is, will Everton be more adventurous at home than they were at the Emirates? I'm not sure Chelsea have faced this strong of a low block this season, and I'm wondering how they're going to manage with no space. I do like the fact that their wingers don't mind taking on the defenders, and so that'll probably aid them in getting to the byline and cutting back, which is how I believe you deal with a low block, which is what I wish I would have seen from the Arsenal against Everton. So I expect Chelsea to understand and execute that. I don't expect Everton to score, though. I see them sitting back, going for the 0-0 again, really. If they do come out, or if they give up one and have to come out, they'll get slapped up. They'll get absolutely slapped. I think Chelsea's wingers have just been too good this season, and that will be a real fear for them and Sean Dyche. I do expect a low-scoring affair, despite Chelsea being, free-flowing and probably are just going to edge it, but I wouldn't be surprised with a draw. Maybe that's a heart pick, but if Chelsea score early, this could get ugly. Rumor has it it's going to be Vega in at fullback, but I don't really think that matters with Cucurella out. He'll have to come in. My safe bet for this one is the under 2.5. That's based on it being probably a 1-0, 2-0 Chelsea victory. The feeling froggy bet. Chelsea money line, Palmer 2+ shots, Jackson 1+ shot on target. Fulham hosting Southampton. Southampton looked spirited against Poole with the interim manager. Not sure they'll be as reckless out of the back as they have been, so the over is probably not on. But also, if they are, the over is definitely on. Their line was a bit high versus Poole, and maybe that's just Liverpool. But I think Fulham are still going to absolutely have way too much for them. I feel like their only bright spot is Cameron Archer. Maybe this Sulemana guy, when he came on, was definitely dynamic more so than the rest of them, but it's not a whole lot to really get excited about. It's going to be the usual suspects for Fulham, in my opinion. Look for Raul Jimenez, Alex Iwobi, the likes of Smith Rowe, Traore, Wilson. For your feeling froggy, we're probably going Jimenez and Iwobi, but your safe bet is going to be the Fulham money line all day long. And your feeling froggy bet is Fulham money line. Iwobi 1 shot on target. Jimenez 1 shot on target. In a similar game where there seems to be a clear favorite, Leicester City are hosting the Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are in absolute and utter disarray. Mateus Cunha is going to be out. Ait Nouri will be out due to suspension. Sarabia is an injury doubt. I don't even know who they're going to field. It's probably going to be Lamina in the center back position again. Is the new manager even? They have signed him, but I don't think he's going to be on the sideline. This Vatera guy from I think he's from Saudi Arabia, actually. So it's looking real bad for Wolves at the moment. I think it's a perfect opportunity for Rude to get another big win for the team, for the Foxes. Neither of these teams are defending well, but like I say, all of the Wolves goal scorers are out. I think even Larson is injured. There's no one there. I can't even find anything positive for them going forward. Jamie Vardy's got to be licking his chops. Although, to be fair, I have seen some shocking defending from the Foxes. They were on the back of a 4-0 to United the last time they took the field. But as far as this one goes, yeah, it's looking really long days for Wolves. So the safe bet is the Leicester money line. Feeling froggy bet, of course, the Leicester money line and Vardy plus 1 shot on target. And that's all you need because it's getting pretty juicy odds at the time of this recording. Now, while I am recording this, United are trying to make the comeback against Spurs. It's 3-2 at the moment, so I'm not sure how that game will affect their game versus Bournemouth. It's going to be interesting to see how Amorim approaches this one. I definitely think at home they'll try to have a lot of the ball. They'll try to possess. They'll try to get it depends on the personnel, right? Because today they started Anthony and Mazraoui came in on the underlap. And against the other side, they had Dalot overlapping because Bruno Fernandes was in the attacking midfield slot. So it really depends on how they play it against Bournemouth, who will most likely look to sit and soak pressure and then get some joy on the break. The issue with Bournemouth is that they are wasteful in front of goal. That being said, I do think they will score in this one. I'm not feeling confident about the money line, even though I just watched some shambolic defending for United against Spurs in the Carabao Cup to give up 3 goals, which immediately made me think, if United hadn't scored before I started filming this, I would have just said Bournemouth are probably going to rip them to shreds because, not only are United susceptible against the counters when there is space in behind those wingbacks, which Bournemouth are going to look to absolutely exploit. United are also not great against the set pieces, and we've seen Bournemouth can get a little tricky. They have a couple of interesting routines that they've tried that could give United some absolute nightmares on set pieces. They've given up another goal on set pieces today, so. I think especially with the way they're pressing Tottenham right now, if they're going to do that against Bournemouth as well, Bournemouth, are going to be able to get through it at times and break quickly, which is what they're good at. However, they are wasteful, but Semenyo, Evan Nielsen, those are the guys we're looking to for offensive producers. Højlund for shots, of course, Bruno Fernandes for assists or passes if you're looking to build some sort of single game parlay. Your safest bet in this one, though, is both teams to score. I do like that bet. I do think this weekend there are going to be some high-scoring games. Our feeling froggy bet, speaking of high-scoring games, is going to be the both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. You could go over 3.5 like the bookies want you to if you want, but got a little bit of a weird feeling about it, so I'm sticking with the 2.5. Over 2.5, so there's probably going to be at least 3 goals in this one. Should be a real intriguing match to watch, especially if United manage to pull off the comeback. They got about 5 minutes left to do it at the time of this recording, so we'll see. All right. Game of the weekend, most likely Tottenham Hotspur hosting Liverpool, league leaders. You would expect Liverpool to win this one. Both teams to score is an absolute lock in this one. It's going to be back and forth, rock and roll, high-paced, high intensity, lots of pressing. It's going to be balls over the top, balls down the line, lots of races, lots of duels. I think that Liverpool are probably going to win the midfield battle. Especially with the likes of Szoboszlai playing so well. Gravenberch was rested, so he'll be looking to get in and play well. I think that this is going to be a tough game for Spurs to get anything from. I do think that they can maybe eke out a draw. It's going to have to be a 2-2 or a 3-3. Just kind of damn the torpedoes style and not even really worry about defense. The offsides. There's gonna be a lot of offsides in this game. I feel like the prop offsides bet might be on in this one. High octane offense is what I'm expecting. We're looking for Kulusevski and Mo Salah. We're looking for Dominic Solanke and Diogo Jota for the offensive production in this one if you're trying to get the shots, player props. But the safe bet, of course, is once again both teams to score. Going to be lots of goals this weekend, I'm telling you. And your feeling froggy bet is Liverpool money line. Both teams to score. We're doing over 3.5 goals and over 10.5 corners. Looking for a lot of offensive action in this one. Should be a fun game. Alrighty. We are to the hidden gems section of the video. There are a lot of games this weekend and a ton of value, I feel, across the leagues. Now, I haven't at this particular moment in time decided if I'm doing day-to-day bets or bets by league. So, if you like a Friday bet, there's plenty of good things to combine for your Friday, plenty of good things to combine for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, etc. But I think I might go with league parlays, league picks, instead of the day-to-day. Look at the schedule if you're wanting to do the Friday bet or the Saturday bet. It's up to you. But in La Liga, where we will start on Friday, Girona are playing Valladolid, who are second from the bottom, so we're taking the money line on Girona. Atletico Bilbao are actually flying in La Liga, 4th place, doing really well on a tear. You could bet them against Osasuna. It is an away match for them against Osasuna, who have been a tough nut to crack. So I don't think that, that one I'm probably going to stay away from, but Bilbao are looking hot. Barcelona is playing Atletico Madrid. Both teams to score is an absolute shoe-in, although it's very tough to call a winner in that one. It is at Barcelona, so it could be, could be Barcelona's game to lose. I don't know. It is at Barcelona, so they might just have the advantage, but Atletico are playing really, really well. So expect both teams to score in that one. And then on Sunday, Real Madrid are definitely going to beat Sevilla, who are not great this season at the Bernabeu. Moving on to Serie A. Friday, AC Milan, money line over Hellas Verona, who are near the bottom and have not been great this season. Lazio are on a tear, but Lecce is tough at home. If you want to bet Lazio, that's probably where I'd go on that one. Might stay away from it. Napoli are going to dust Genoa, although they too have been a tough outfit at home. Atalanta to beat Empoli is a lock. They are flying atop the league at the moment. Juve away to Monza. Monza are spirited, but are not very good. Juve are definitely going to take that one. Fiorentina, I think, struggled in Portugal today. I haven't seen the final of that one, but they were down to Guimarães for a while, so it's kind of knocked my confidence a little bit, although they are flying near the top of the table as well. Udinese is a tough outfit, but it is at home, so if you want to do a feeling froggy bet, Fiorentina over Udinese might be just where you want, and you probably want to watch that one too. That'll be a good game. And then Inter Milan are going to dust Como, even though that's probably my team in this area because my man Cesc Fabregas at the helm. But Inter Milan are going to absolutely rip them to shreds. All right, in the Bundesliga, you might expect Bayern to beat Leipzig at home. Should be a good game. Leipzig are in 4th, but have struggled in Champions League, have struggled against really strong teams. I expect Bayern to get the victory there. Moneyline Bayern. Augsburg are facing Holstein Kiel, who are the worst team in the Bundesliga. So if you want to do that one, it is an away match for Augsburg, who have let me down a couple of times this season, but you might want to go there. Stuttgart are definitely going to beat St. Pauli, who are absolutely atrocious. The feeling froggy bet in the Bundesliga would be Bremen to beat Union Berlin, but Berlin have been weird opponents this season. So you could do that if you want. Over to Holland, the Netherlands. PEC Zwolle are playing the worst team, Waalwijk, but Waalwijk have scored quite a few goals this season. Zwolle are not great, having only won 4 matches, but I don't mind betting against the worst team in the league, so you might want to go for that one if you're feeling real froggy. The real worst team in the Eredivisie, though, is Almere City, who Heerenveen are playing. I would definitely bet Heerenveen. Ajax are going to cruise as well. And Utrecht should beat Fortuna Sittard, but it will be a tough one. So those are my picks in Netherlands. And over in Portugal, Casa Pia should beat Arouca, but it will be a tough match. You might stay away from that one. Porto have been weird in Europe, but really, really good in Portugal. They are playing Moreirense away. Could be tough, but I think they're going to win that one. And Sporting are definitely going to beat Gil Vicente. However, Benfica over Estoril, you're going to have to parlay because even the bookies think Benfica are going to smash them. So, yeah, that's the roundup. Here are my actual wagers this week. I'm going to pop them up for you. Remember, you do not have to mix and match the same way I do. If you'd rather do singles or simple prop bets, you are, of course, welcome to throw away your loot however you see fit. No, I'm just kidding. You definitely want to try to find strategic ways to mix and match the tips and predictions here, but you don't have to do exactly what I have. And that being said, thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video if you're still here. Of course, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Again, I'm grateful you are here. Hope these tips and predictions treat you well, and I will see you next time.